Team of the season so far. I'll never understand why people do this about 10 games into the season, but halfway in, 19 games. Have they been a long 19 games? I don't know. Anyway, let's just stop chatting shit and get straight into it. I don't want to waste your time. Some of these are obvious, I feel, and then some of them are not. Okay, so firstly, we'll start with the keeper. Got the notepad out. I've literally forgot how to speak. In goal, we have Onana. Andre Onana from Manchester United. Yes, we have a Manchester United player in this year's team of the season. And some of you might be typing already in the comments for me to die of cancer or something maybe. But hear me out, right? The goalkeeper I've been impressed with the most has been Andre Onana. Do I think he's the best keeper in the league? No. But for this season, some of the saves I've seen him make, I think have been really good. Better saves than anyone else who I've seen. He also has 6 clean sheets as well, which is really good, which is the joint second highest, or third highest. So yeah, on that front, pretty good. His saves have been really good. And yeah, he's been consistent. There have been one or two mistakes recently, but overall, he's been, for me, the best keeper. Keepers are supposed to make saves. He's made the best saves. Kenny Tete. Now, some of you are going, where the fuck is Ola Aina? Now, granted, Ola Aina has been very good and very solid. However, for me, Kenny Tete, the player who I've watched, is the player who I've watched and just been most impressed with. He's so solid as a right back. On the ball, really good. Carries the ball really well. Consistent. Never really makes a mistake. Good defender. Good going forward. I really like Kenny Tete as a player. And for me, just the player that I've watched at right back, he's been the best. I forgot about Trent. Okay, I'm going to swap Kenny Tete out for Trent. But Kenny Tete nearly made it. I'm not going to talk about Trent too much other than just some of the crosses he's played defensively. He's looked a little bit better as well. I think he can still be a little lazy in that regard. But going forward, yeah, I can't really have anyone else in here other than Trent. So I'm going to have to go with Trent at right back. I've just realised I can't be asked to change the graphic. So just ignore that and pretend it's Trent. Okay? But Kenny Tete, the second best. Okay, on the right side of the defence, I have Gabriel. I could have gone for Saliba. I could have gone for Milenkovic. Milenkovic was really close to getting in there, as was Saliba. But Gabriel, defensively, really good. Probably the first or second best partnership in the league with Saliba. Defensively, do I think he's as good as Saliba? I don't. However, those 3 goals that he scored from corners this year in such big games have been crucial for Arsenal. And even though 3 goals may not sound a lot, what he's done by doing that is build momentum on top of Arsenal to score more corners. So, yeah, Gabriel at right centre-back. And the left centre-back is Van Dijk. It is Van Dijk. That's pretty obvious, isn't it? I'm going to say something now that will be controversial, highly controversial, but can we just stop pretending that Van Dijk isn't the best centre-back of all time? Can we just stop doing that? In their prime, there's no defender in history you could convince me is better than Van Dijk. Left back, not exactly rich in that area, the Premier League, I have to say. But the one outstanding player, I think, has been Andy Roberts. I'm joking. It's been Anthony Robinson. I just realised how close those two names sound as well. Anthony Robinson at Fulham has been really good. He was good last year as well. I liked him last year. But this year, to get 7 assists, the pace is extraordinary. He's a really good defender, good going forward, good on the ball. A very good modern centre-back, left-back. Sorry, Fulham fans, but I'm sure the big six will be looking at. The number 6 in this position, I think we all knew it would be Gravenberch. I mean, I can't believe what I've seen from him this season, to be honest. I mean, he came in, I remember I was talking about Gravenberch. I think Tottenham should sign him. That's what I said. About 18 months ago, as a number 10, as a backup, or someone to start. For him to come in and deliver and be such a huge part of Liverpool being first in the Premier League as a number 6 is unexpected and incredible. That just shows incredible talent and arguably player of the year. I think there's a different Liverpool player that, unfortunately for him, well, no, it's not unfortunate, it's fortunate because, well, they're on top of the Premier League. But if it wasn't for the other Liverpool player, I think Gravenberch would have a big shout for player of the season. So my number 8 then, now he doesn't really play in this position, but to fit everyone in the right position, I couldn't do it. But it's Caicedo. Again, a player that I thought was really good at Brighton. I remember I highlighted him as a player at the World Cup to watch. In the one that Argentina won, whatever year that was. Was it 22, I think? Yeah, a huge talent. I knew whoever would sign him from Brighton would inevitably go up another level. You know, I still think even Liverpool, if they had Caicedo, wouldn't be bad off with that, to be honest. Astonishing player. Such a good tackler. I think that's what I've been most impressed by. I can't say I've watched Chelsea actually loads this year, but on Match of the Day or whenever I see highlights of Chelsea, so often their goals come from the highlights begins with a Caicedo incredible tackle. So yeah, he's the number 8 in this team. The other one again plays for Chelsea. Their form has been surprising, but it shouldn't be with all that talent. I mean, to have these two in your team is, yeah, it shouldn't be a surprise that Chelsea are third in the Premier League. It's Cole Palmer. And you could say, behind Mo Salah, or you could even just say, if you think Cole Palmer is the best player in the Premier League, you can definitely have that argument. If you look at the 2024 stats in the Premier League, the whole calendar year, Cole Palmer scored the most. And that's just ridiculous, isn't it? You know, to score more goals than Haaland and Salah in a worse team as well shows the talent. And again, this year just delivering. Undoubtedly had the best performance of the season against Brighton at home. That free kick, and you know, the moment that one went in, the fourth goal, the near post one, it was just a bit like, this is fucking ridiculous. It was kind of similar, you know, when Suarez scored 4 against Norwich, and you were like, you just have to kind of laugh, and you're kind of in awe of this player who's in this flow state. That's how I kind of was. That's how it was watching that Palmer performance, and the free kick was amazing, obviously. And I think in the bigger games he could have done better, but you know, those are big and difficult for a reason. Chelsea aren't at that level yet. So, yeah, Palmer has to be in. I saw someone say, Spurs fans, you know, to be fair, they've lost the absolute plot on Twitter lately. But I saw someone say, how is Kulusevski not in a team of the season? And you just say, well, because Palmer's in it. And Kulusevski just hasn't been as good as Palmer, has he? That's a little rant. But yeah. Anyway, the most predictable one on here, it's Mo Salah. To get 30 goal contributions at this point in the season. We're looking at an all-time season. We really are. 30 goal contributions. If he can get 45 goal contributions in the Premier League, that would be something really, really special. 30 is fucking special. And he's got that halfway in. Now, he's done this before. He did it. Did he do it last year? He might have done it last year. He also did it a few years ago. I think it was the 21-22 season, where the first half of that year was even better than he's done this year so far. I mean, he was outrageous. It's when he scored that hat-trick against Man United at Old Trafford, and then I think he scored about 2 or 3 at Everton as well. But so he has form of doing this and then dropping off in the second half. But we're not in the second half yet. We're in the first half, so he has to be in this team, and he is undoubtedly Player of the Year. Yeah, Mo Salah, he's just a great. He's just a Premier League great. And I think he gets misprofiled as well, to be honest, as this kind of tap-in merchant that can't control a football. Mo Salah is one of the most beautiful footballers that I've seen in my entire life. Year after year, he just astonishes me every year. Scores amazing goals every year. Amazing assists, amazing dribbles, and yet he gets known as this like tap-in guy. It's really frustrating, actually. But yeah, he's having an all-time season. And yeah, there's not much more I can say about Salah, really. Left wing, I've gone with Cunha. Now, I nearly went with Gakpo, more because he's just a truer left winger, Cody Gakpo, than Matheus Cunha. You know, Matheus Cunha likes to be a forward, a striker, a number 9, but he does play in that left wing position. And when he does play up front, he does drift over to that side as well. To be fair, with Cunha, he's kind of everywhere. He's a bit like if Joe Linton was a good striker, or just better at football, basically. Yeah, a ridiculous player. I couldn't not put him in. One of my favourite players, actually, in the Premier League. So skillful. There was a goal he scored against Nottingham Forest last year that was out of this world. I mean, that was last year. He scored a few of those this year as well. His game against Fulham, outstanding. He just scored a corner goal versus Man United. A really special talent, and to be putting in the performances he's putting in as well. Similar to Palmer, but obviously Chelsea aren't a relegation side. Wolves are. You know, to keep them afloat in this difficult time is really special for Matheus Cunha to do. And a huge talent. I mean, if the Brazil manager doesn't start him soon, then I don't know what he's doing, to be honest. Now, if you would have told me halfway in to the season that Chris Wood would be in my Premier League team of the season so far list team, I just wouldn't have believed you, to be honest, because any time before the start of this year, I thought Chris Wood was a terrible, terrible striker, and I think he was terrible at places like Newcastle. But oh my God, at Forest he's been amazing. Not even just the goals. Have you seen him in the build-up play? He's genuinely moving like R9, or like a Harry Kane hold-up play. He's doing skills, he's doing flicks, he's running into the box with pace. He looks quicker, he looks strong. Just, I don't know what has happened. But Chris Wood will go down now as one of those strikers in the Prem that you just can't forget. Especially if he carries on this form for Nottingham Forest. I think it will drop off at some point. But that doesn't matter because this is a Premier League halfway in team of the season. And there's no striker who even comes close. So, that's the team. That's the entire team. I'm pretty happy with it. Just pretend that Trent is at right back. I've got some honourable mentions of players that were unlucky or that I did consider for a few seconds to be in here. So starting with the goalkeepers, David Raya, one of the best keepers at collecting crosses. He's had a really strong year. Matt Sells, those two have the highest amount of clean sheets in the Premier League alongside Jordan Pickford. Ola Aina for defenders. Again, he's very unlucky not to be on here. Cucurella, though I think he's a bit overrated. Cannot deny his form since the Euros has been very good. Saliba, again, in terms of a defender, I think better than Gabriel this season. But Gabriel, just with those headers, I had to put him in. Milenkovic as well, could have easily been in. So yeah, I mean, he's basically Nottingham Forest's Van Dijk, isn't he? Murillo, I mean, what a partnership those two are at Nottingham Forest. What I like about Murillo is this is the second year that he's doing it now. So this shows that he is just a very good Premier League footballer. Lewis Hall, I can't say I've watched Newcastle loads, but when I've watched them, he's looked good. Kirkez as well, very good. He's had a good year at Bournemouth. Digne is more of a random one. I don't think many people would put Digne But whenever I watch Aston Villa, I'm not sure if I'm getting confused with last year. But whenever I watch Aston Villa, Digne is just always super solid and really good when I watch him. Onto the midfielders. Damsgaard, again, he's come to light recently. I think I put him in my FPL about a month ago, and he's basically delivered every game week since. Enzo, and Damsgaard, actually, by the way, the mental strength for him to come back after, 2 years at Brentford, not exactly doing much, and now we're seeing that talent being fulfilled. It's good to see. Enzo, the goals, lately, the performances, he looks really confident, so that's good. I wish he didn't as a Spurs fan, but there we are. Tielemans, yeah, I love Tielemans as a player. I'm glad he's playing for Emery, playing really well, been one of the best midfielders in the league. And when I went to watch Tottenham versus Aston Villa, we did win 4-1, but we'll just ignore that. Tielemans was actually the player out of all of them that stuck with me the most, and the one that I watched live, and he just stuck out to me, how calm he was on the ball. More Aston Villa players, Andre Onana, Morgan Rogers. To be honest, Morgan Rogers, very unlucky not to be in here. He could easily be in over Caicedo, to be honest. That wouldn't be a problem. Morgan Gibbs-White as well. I have a video on Morgan Gibbs-White coming up. Very good player. I can't quite believe he's still at Forest. I would say he should be playing for a top 6 team, but he kind of is. That Forest team is just kind of now being elevated to the level that Morgan Gibbs-White has been at for a few years. Belieber, are you a believer? I am. This guy is very special. Spurs, get on the phone. I like him a lot. On the half turn, really good as well. Good on the ball and a great tackler. Curtis Jones, the most consistent he's played in his career so far, consistently well. He had that game against maybe Chelsea, was it, or Arsenal, that was really good. And since then, he's kind of just carried on. So, fair play to Curtis Jones. Kulusevski again, couldn't be in over Palmer or Salah, but in that new position as a 10, really good. And his stats are there now as well. He's starting to get goals and assists frequently, which is what he needed to do. Alex Iwobi and Emile Smith-Rowe, the two Fulham boys. Smith-Rowe started well, died down a little bit now. I think that form will pick up again. Alex Iwobi, I love his career for a start. Won't get into that too much now, but what I like about Alex Iwobi this season is in recent weeks he's really taken, the game for Fulham. He's the one doing things out of nowhere and, kind of become that player for Fulham. Been their best player in recent weeks. And Alex Iwobi is just a player that I have a lot of respect for. Forwards, Nicholas Jackson. I mean, I put him on you. He was never going to get in over Chris Wood. John Duran as well. Visser. Danny Welbeck started really strong. Luis Diaz and Cody Gakpo, of course, like I said. Saka. I mean, if Salah wasn't in the league, then Saka would easily be there. And Callum Hudson-Odoi as well. Has been very good. Probably unlucky not to be in there. So that's the honourable mentions. That's my team of the season. Let me know yours, or any of them that you don't agree with. Let me know as well. And if you want to put your player of the season, but I'm pretty sure we all think it's Salah anyway. So yeah, let me know. I love reading the comments. And I guess thank you for watching.